Sick. Well, welcome. It's the Anthony and Amandla show where
conversation never ends.
Hey. And today we have our guests, owners, creators of Vicious Mockery, the YouTube channel of Dungeons and Dragons. We have
Mark Kerr. I'm lead producer or co-producer, writer, dungeon master.
Jesus.
Everything.
Yeah, jack of all trades. Nice.
And then I'm Paola. I guess it should be nice to be. I'm Paola Kerr. I'm his wife. But I am an actress for Vicious Mockery and Peyote, the Tiefling Bard.
Nice. Well, welcome.
Yeah. Really excited to have y'all with us.
Sorry, real quick. Congratulations on your 100th episode. They recently just had a dope-ass landmark. They did their 100th episode on Vicious Mockery, their YouTube channel. It's been going for a while. They've been killing the game, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Gotta appreciate the work when I see it.
There you go.
It took us a while to get there, and I'm really happy we did. We ended season 3 on episode 100. Season 2. So we're going to be going into season 3 soon. And it's going to places I never expected, and I love it.
Yeah, well, it's like super exciting stuff. I mean, we're like, this is what, number 4, number 3 we're at.
So it's like baby steps.
Yeah. We're like still brand new, so it's definitely questions coming for you about like, what did y'all do as far as like,
can I ask one question?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I played it once. I played Dungeons and Dragons once.
Okay.
And it was more of like I was kind of jumping into pros doing their thing, so I kind of just got like a quick little brief introduction to it.
Yeah.
But essentially, I mean, it seems like it's very complex, and I have no idea of the pieces and what goes on. So can you explain to me and the others that are novices that have no idea what's going on?
Yeah.
Can you do it non-complex? Because you tend to make things complex.
It's very simple.
You use the so you have like health and you have like skills that are all based on a number.
Okay.
You use your dice to see if you hit someone like with an attack, or if you successfully do a skill.
Okay.
And you have another set of dice that dictate the damage. If you are attacking. It gets more complex when you go into like spells. Spells do weird shit. But that's simply put. So like someone like Aote, who's a bard, a tiefling bard, who are all, this is just extra shit, but she is really good at persuasion, which is the skill. She'll take her 20-sided die, she'll roll it. She has like a +8 or +9 on persuasion.
Persuasion +9.
+9, yeah.
And
which is
20?
really freaking high.
Like it's like
pretty
adding.
high. I'm assuming that's high.
So like as a dungeon master, like I have like thresholds that she needs to surpass in order to meet like certain criteria.
Okay.
So like if she gets at least a 20 on a skill, she's like totally good at flirting with this person. Unless it's like, I'm a hostile being and I'm gonna kill you. Well, she needs to get like a 25 or
I've done
30.
That, I've done
but
that.
she's done that. So like, you see that hostile dragon that wants to murder you? Yeah, she's like, hey baby. So I see that horde you're sitting on. Do you want another horde? Come on.
Not that dramatic. And it was not dramatic.
Not that dramatic. But that's how I would play a bard.
Giving away my secret stuff.
Bards are joked around to be the most sexual of the characters because of the high charisma. So you could either like lie your way if you do deception, you could flirt your way, you could make jokes, or like they're the actors of the whole fucking whole fucking thing. So.
They can literally use insults to harm people.
Yes.
Wow.
That's the name of the show, Vicious Mockery. It's a spell. It's a spell.
Actually,
Damn, right up.
Damn. I was like, damn, that's a pretty tight name. I was saying to myself, Vicious Mockery, that's pretty.
Yeah. We added a surname to it. We added an extra part to it because we felt that we wanted to add a part to the name itself. We added Dice Against the World.
We just felt it was purposely.
Yeah.
So there's a podcast from Atlanta that has the name Vicious Mockery on it. We've interacted with them as a joke before too.
Yeah.
So we do the YouTube stuff, they do the podcast stuff, and then just in case we ever move into audio, we added the subtitle to it.
So we're Vicious Mockery, Dice Against the World, and they are Vicious Mockery.
Okay.
The podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did that too. They added
Yeah.
the podcast to theirs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so y'all ran into each other, or just got to a point where you were
Social
like,
media, we all joked around with each other on Instagram.
Oh, then that's
Yeah.
so interesting. It'd be like if we ran into another Anthony Amandla show, and then it'd be like,
What?
Yeah. Okay.
what is going on?
I'd be
What
mad.
is going
That'd be hella
on?
weird.
Yeah, that'll be super weird. I'll be like, okay, this is odd. Two other gentlemen doing the same thing.
Thing, but they don't look as good as us. Though.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, they can't be us, dog.
No, that ain't us. That ain't us.
Look, they 8. We easy 13.
Oh my God. Get out of here, dude.
Easy.
Jose, is that you filming for them?
I can see you in the reflection, dog. You
How do I
said
tell
it.
y'all, but I just jacked the name and made it better. You know what I'm saying?
Don't tell anybody.
So, what caused, or what I guess gave the inspiration of like doing a YouTube channel with Dungeons and Dragons? Because I'm assuming the love came for the game before the YouTube channel. So, yeah, what was that inspiration?
Jesus, right?
Yeah, well, I mean that.
Jesus.
Hey, what up?
That's our producer's name. That's our producer's name. Yeah,
Jesus.
Jesus.
He. How far back do I go? Do I start with my love of Dungeons and Dragons, or do I start with a YouTube
Hey,
channel?
start with the love. I heard love. You know what I'm saying? That's
Well,
rock, you know what I'm saying?
So
we love
in
that.
college, I dabbled with a group that I played with them once, and they killed me. And like that was the whole intention, was to just murder my character. And I had a really poor experience. Her and I started dating shortly after that, and it was actually a couple of years after that. But
Marshall
you know.
and Santiago.
And so she has a really good friend named Marshall and another friend named Santiago. And Santiago's one of the best dungeon masters in the world, I would argue, because he's so funny and he's so clever and just smart and perfect. And I'll never be him, but I love him so much. And I like forced him to run a game for Paola and I and our friends, our closest friends. And we had so much fun. We played every week for like a year, or every other week for like a year. And then
You jumped into Pathfinder.
we jumped into Pathfinder, which is a version of Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. It's far too complicated for this show. But
Is it like those packages they put on like games and stuff? Is it like a kind of version? No, not really.
It's a version, yes.
Okay.
so like you have Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons. They have a revision called 3.5, and somebody else took the revision and then revised on top of the revision. And then so that group is called Paizo, and they've had Pathfinder,
It's
and
the
I love
math
it.
of D&D. If you need that, it's just there's too much math in it.
Yeah.
That's why you're saying it's complicated. Because
We
You
love
17 hours?
yeah.
So
So
we get
we
into it.
we lovingly call Pathfinder Mathfinder. Lovingly. And that's where I spent the majority of my dungeon mastering time. And then I never got into Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition because it was 5th. It was the playtest for 5th. And right when the playtest for 5th was coming, I was a part of the playtest like tester group. There was like thousands of us, so I'm not like special. But we were like looking at it, and I was like, oh man, the sorcerer's awesome, and this and that, and I was like looking at everything I could, and I was digging in, and I loved it. And then Mike Wellman from the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach, he came up to me because I was going to the Sketchy Bug creator meetings every Wednesday with my wife. The comic book creator team.
And just for those, your connection to Sketchy Bug?
I'm one of the admin for Sketchy Bugs, and it's existed way before me, but since 2012, there was other creators that would just kind of hang out in the back of the comic book shop, and then it just grew. I'm just one of the few people that are like okay programming pieces and doing tabling and stuff. So
We'll get back into that.
yeah.
2012, Mike Wellman comes up to me and he says,
Well,
2013, 14?
14.
14.
That's right after we got married.
He comes up to me and he says, hey Mark, I need someone to start running Dungeons and Dragons at my new
Game shop.
game shop. And I'm like, I don't want to commit. And he's like, look, you got talent, just do it. And I had only ran for my friends. I had only run Dungeons and Dragons for my friends, and I never run 5th edition before. It had just came out, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. I'll freaking do it. And so I did it, and I literally created a community just from existing on Wednesday nights there. And I've ran with adults and then turned those adults into dungeon masters and great players, great people, and then
That's where you met Jesus.
little kids come in, and I met my friend Jesus there, and Jesus is like, hey, look, I'm a television producer for Long Beach Local Access, PadNet, and I'm a, the, what do they call him, the traveling director or something like that? He has a title that I'm not aware of, but he says, do you want a show on Long Beach Local Access? I said, yes, but only if we can also put it on YouTube. And he says, yeah, we can do that. And
Him and Andrew.
And Andrew Newberg is a good friend of mine. I knew him from the Long Beach Aquarium. And
he's a puppeteer. They're all puppet. They play with puppets.
I did puppeteer work for about 2-3 years.
Bro, I swear, bro, all the stories, it's like you've lived like 1,000 lives. He's like,
I'm old, man.
Bro, he's like,
I'm old, man.
That's been like in the course of like 5 years.
No, it's longer than that now.
Puppeteer? No, it's 5 years.
I did that in 2013 and 2012.
Seems like that's a lot.
I guess. I mean,
No,
it's more than 5
is it
years.
before we got married?
Yeah.
Oh, like
Because I was earning money for our marriage.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I got
It was a side hustle.
I had a side hustle to earn money for my wedding.
yeah, I'm saying, at the balls right
Because they were all at the wedding. I remember now.
Yeah. And so he's like, hey, do you want to do it? And I was like, is there any money in it? And he's like, absolutely not. And so I just did it and started writing and fell in love with writing and thinking and being creative. I found 2 awesome people to jump in with me, which was Jordan Munn and
Jose
Rivas, who are just talented in their own right. Jordan's a model. She does model work and she does some writing and some animation. Jose is literally a rocket scientist.
Engineers.
He's an engineer. He's a smart math guy, and
he had the SpaceX joint on in like I think it was one of the latest episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, he loves SpaceX. He loves everything they do. Like Elon Musk memes are
He
his
doesn't
favorite.
work at SpaceX.
He doesn't, but he loves them.
Yeah.
Yo, I fuck with y'all.
Yeah, but if you like we roll with engineers, like they're the funniest posse to roll with,
They are.
and because they all love SpaceX even when they don't work there.
They really do. They really do. We have a few of them that they made like SpaceX cups that our buddy Edward, who's a writer, gave us.
You talk to us and we can get you people from like Northrop Grumman who can come over here and they're our age and they'll like chill and drink with you guys.
I don't know if they can though. Cause
Oh well, legally I don't know if they can, but I mean maybe we can work on something.
they can say they work there. They can't tell you what they do.
Yeah,
They're
they can tell you about stuff that's already in space that everybody knows
Yes.
about.
For some, for some.
Yeah. What I do? Oh, off the record? Or on the record? Oh, on the record. I can't say. No, I can't say.
Sorry, it was a long way to explain our life.
No. It was good. It was good. So you get the YouTube popping with, a TV show at the same time. Like that's kind of like, people were just like hoping to land like one thing, where you just land both. So that's so cool. That's so cool.
we have to give credit though to Jesus and then his sister Nancy and her husband Renee, because they're the ones that do all the production. Like if it wasn't for the accessibility that Jesus has and then all the work they do, we wouldn't have a good quality show.
I love them so much.
That is a lot of work. I have to give techies their credit. Like always give techies their credit. They're great.
Yeah, they enable us to have the pretty faces and the great personalities that we have.
That lighting, the set, everything.
Yeah.
It's tough because me and Anthony had to do the show by ourselves, and so it's difficult. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, we got set up. We gotta bring the equipment.
No, we love
Jose.
You know what I'm saying? No, of course. Yes, of course. Jose is the foundation in which this podcast is built and remains sturdy, like my Millie Rock.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, John.
Oh man.
But dang, okay, so I'm curious as to like this world of, I guess, I want to say comics, but I feel like that's like too close to
Geekdom.
yeah, there you go, yeah. So
You're in our house, which is just filled to the brim of geekdom.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? And you have this wall here, and y'all can't see it, but they have this wall of like just Sandman, and you have Death, and you have Dream, and you have a whole bunch of the dopeness, and I'm a fan of it. I don't know if y'all have seen it. I don't know if you've seen it, Doc. Have you heard
Not
it?
Sandman. Not Sandman.
It's not. Is it like one of the only graphic novels to win? Was it the Pulitzer Prize for writing?
It won.
It's not one of the only ones, but it's won a shit ton of awards.
It's
Neil Gaiman, so he's
it's
a great novelist.
Like, top notch, yeah.
Yeah, it's like got a butt ton of awards. It just got signed on to Netflix. They're going to be making a limited series with it. It's a great run.
And Neil Gaiman's the one that helped write with Terry Pratchett the Good Omens on Amazon. So that's
I know you've seen
the.
He
does a lot of fantasy stuff. He does a lot of fantasy stuff.
I see that on LAX. I'm like, that looks like a sick show that I need to watch.
It's good.
It's
good.
David Tennant's in it.
Yeah.
I
feel you.
I like him a lot.
I look at you over your game tapes.
I'm like, no,
it's
just something I'm sleeping on. I need to get to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and when I walked in, I was trying to listen as best I could, but I just kept being like, oh my goodness, oh my lady Thor, what? And then I started geeking out, and I was like, okay.
Toys are my obsession. That's my bad.
I was like, they've been talking this whole time, and I have not listened at all. I'm horrible.
I don't even remember what pop started it that got me stuck on this.
Well, I think it was Iron Man 3.
You got me the Iron Man.
No, it was Louis that gave me Iron Man 3.
The regular pop, yeah.
Right. And then we just kept trying to go with different collections.
I just went bonkers.
Yeah.
I got a collection for sure.
Yeah, and we have pops that are like I bought for like $9 or $11 at one point in time, and now they're like 180.
180 Rorschach.
Rorschach from Watchmen.
I will take a shit ton of credit for the toys. I know it's like shared, but I'm like the toys.
Me. I worked.
Yeah. My Bashijos though would probably be the ones. I don't have them out here. They're in a different room, but yeah, they're.
Yeah.
So then, with all of this in your place, and it seems like very much your passions. You've been fortunate enough to align some of your passions up to some with your lifestyle, and so I'm curious as to, with a TV show and a YouTube channel placed in your laps, how did you strike that balance in like continuing to focus on this passion that I'm sure only takes so much time and so much effort and dealing with the other stuff that you want to do. You can't plan for an opportunity like that to come up and then be like, well, I don't want to take it yet because I'm doing this.
I think we just did it, right?
Yeah.
I think I was hesitant at first.
Right.
And then I was like, fuck it, we just did it. Because we film, so I don't know if this is like too much info. But we film, it's one solid Sunday out of every month. And it's like 4 to 5 hours of just us filming.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one Sunday out of the month isn't too bad.
Yeah.
And I can come up with one sort of thematic chunk, like a short story from beginning to end, knowing who these characters are, knowing the location that they're in.
Yeah, so we crank out like 4 episodes.
4 episodes.
Yeah.
Per run.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
And is that something you foresaw, or was it something where like you did an episode and you was like, yeah, we have to figure this out?
Yeah, the first couple runs I think we did 3 at a time, and then we were like, okay, we could probably fit 4 at a time.
And we did it too long too. Like we had to cut them back, because they were running like
first
an
couple
hour, like 10, 15, and we're like, this isn't gonna work. People don't have the attention span. So we tried
an hour.
We did an hour, and then we've gone down to 45.
Right now is a 45, and we're cool with 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's.
I'm trying to convince them to do edit downs to like at least 30 for like recaps, but it just takes work.
It takes work, and if we had a team.
So say not just 10. Like
if we had a team of editors. If we had a team of editors, and then we had money, because honestly, none of us are paid for this, and we do it because we love the story and we love the work, and I wouldn't change it for the world except for the money part. If we got paid to do what we're doing, that would make a world of difference.
Yeah.
So would you? I was kind of curious because this is always like what especially like for us artists who like are trying to not only do the thing we love but also like make a living, earn, and just like continue living. Do you feel like are there times where it's like you kind of have to sacrifice certain things to keep going? And do you feel like it adds fuel to the fire as well to like keep the passion going? Because I feel like, especially for me over the years, it's always been like, you know, and I've told you many times, it's like having to keep going to audition for grad school and keeping a job and staying alive at the same time. So I'm always interested, like, what is the thing that keeps y'all going, especially in those times where you feel like, oh, I wasn't able to, like, fuel the passion as much as I wanted to. You know what I mean?
Polo's better at
I'm
this
trying.
thing.
I'm laughing because it's just funny because one of the things like you said on the topic of like what we sacrifice, we have no real social life. Like this is our social life.
Yeah.
Because we just work, and then the concept of my work requires me to be here a lot more. So it just people know us as the busy couple, or at least know me as the busy person.
Yeah.
But we do it because it's fun. I think I've had moments with the show where I just get tired because I'm like, I don't want to keep filming. I'm just tired. I want a day. But then we still do it because we're like, well, part of it's the game piece, right? We want to finish the game. Like even at the end of the day, if no one's watching the show, we're like, we need to finish this game. Like we're not gonna
it's
not
a story.
do this.
It keeps going.
And so that's one of them that keeps us going. I think the other part is I can speak for myself. I was a theater major too. Is how I actually met Jose, who's behind the camera.
Hey, I didn't even know. Word up.
Yeah, and
Word
so
up.
a lot of the stuff that I've been wanting to do. I mean, you can't. When you're working all the time, the type of work, you can't always go and do plays all the time. Those are time consuming themselves.
Right,
It take great dedication. And so I was like, well, what can I do that's fun, that still does some of the acting and the fun goofiness, while also be able to maintain some type of schedule. And so this is probably one of the things that I'm able to do.
Yeah, because it seems like y'all found like a pretty solid balance. I mean, social life, I feel like that already takes the backseat, especially if you're doing like important shit, like achieving your dreams and also working at the same time. And it's like social life at that point just becomes like whatever.
That's the first thing.
I think we lucked out. I think we lucked out more with anything with the community that we found. I think when I discovered it was a fluke too. My job originally was part-time. We had gone to this comic book shop, and it was a comic book in Manhattan Beach. It was a stupid funny story how I became best friends with the owner, where I had a feminist rant because I confused him for one of his buddies that said something really stupid, and it was like I bitched about it on Yelp, and then he actually and the other owner were like, what the fuck did you do? And he's like, I didn't do anything. And like he talks to me, it turns out it was a different buddy who wasn't supposed to be behind the register, had said something really stupid. So we're like, that's been the ongoing joke, is that we like fuss at each other all the time over the stupid shit that he says or I say, but we end up loving each other at the same time. It's really weird. But it was a fluke, and I happened to walk in on a Wednesday, and he's like, oh, you should check out what's going on in the back. And I went over there, and there's just a bunch of guys just drawing and people writing. And I was like, what is this? It's like every Wednesday they just hang out and meet and they sketchy bug. And so then we surrounded ourselves with this community of creators who understood, like, because their primary, a lot of their primary, like, careers were just drawing or trying to make it big. Others would do it as a hobby or as the background position versus what they're doing to survive. But they became the core group that was understanding that if we have to do something artsy, they weren't gonna like shit on you for not being social. They're like, oh, you're doing art, you're doing the art stuff. We got it.
Yeah, we got it. We understand.
Yeah.
And it's a similar concept with the game stuff. Is that you encounter all these game people that knew you were doing it for the game and for fun. And then when Mark recruited me. Andrew was already on board because he worked with Jesus, and then we were like, well, Mark wanted to be funny, like I want the diversity, the diversity aspect.
I wanted as many voices on the table as I could.
So we pulled one of my artist friends was Jordan, who had been wanting to play D&D, and she's a big cosplayer model chick, and she jumped in, and then we recruited the other Jose because he was already playing D&D there, and so.
Yeah.
And we just fell in the community, and I think that's what helped, is having that support of people that were in similar hobbies, similar interests, that were willing to still kind of take the time out.
It all happened organically.
Yeah.
Just like it was meant to happen for y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know, when you become like a gray beard, like I am.
Not yet.
I'm getting gray. I'm getting there. I'm turning away so you guys don't see it. But when you start becoming gray, you have to be willing to go and say, okay, some of my friends, I'm maybe only going to see them a couple times a year, and they're going to be my good friends regardless of how often I see them, right? Because when you live an artist's lifestyle, that's kind of part of it. Is you don't really have that social life anymore. You don't have a life outside of the art. And so I have a job, and I love my job, and I do my art while I'm doing my job. it's part of it.
I like that we're talking about it like if we're super big. We probably only have like 100 and something.
No, we have
followers.
200 followers.
We're not that big.
No.
We have a lot more creator friends that are like a lot more
Yes.
fucking out
And,
there.
yeah, we love them so much.
Yeah.
And you know, she's written some stuff for the Sketchy Bugs, and she has some art that she's done for indie comics. I've written some for some Sketchy Bugs that, knock on wood.
He's hamming it up, just saying.
Well, you know, you're asking
It's
about
not
us
even
as
published.
creative. It's not published, but you know, we've written some short stories, and
Yeah.
they're out there, and we're hoping that some artists take hold and make something out of it. That's like, because I'm an actor too, and one of my creative outlets is like directing and writing, because I'm realizing that I can't always act. I'm too chunky for it, and so so like I have to have some other creative outlets. I'll play a mean. What's the kid from Book of Mormon? The fat kid from Book of Mormon.
I didn't
Elder Cunningham. I'll play a mean Elder Cunningham.
You like playing
Elder Cunningham.
You like playing about
Jesus.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
Africa. You know, I'll play a mean one, but like realistically, those days are behind me. But you know, I'm still doing the work, because there's still stuff. People need to write something, and I'm just letting those characters and those stories, they talk to me still. You know, so I let them talk to me, and I just put it on the page, and I just write whatever the hell I want, and I don't allow any critique unless the work is done, and then I let people just rip it apart, because then I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't realize I was thinking that, and this is incongruent with this other scene, and oh okay, yeah. But I try and get it all on the page first, and then I let somebody rip it apart, because I feel like art is evolving, right? And like you as an actor, you're not the perfect version of yourself right now.
Right.
You're in evolution, and that's good, and you should always be that way. If you're not evolving, you're dying. And so now I'm done being philosophical.
Yeah,
What would you guys like to talk about?
I don't know. You're dipping in the pond. I was actually like starting to, you know.
I do that.
It's funny you say that because
old guy philosophy.
No, but I mean it's real, because you know we're constantly seeking to grow, right? I mean, you hit it on the head. Like, no one's perfect, you know, and it's that constant drive for perfection. But I mean, what do you say? Evolving.
If you're not evolving, you're dying.
Okay, I've never heard that before. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but I was like,
it's evolution.
I will coin the phrase right now if no one has coined it.
No, I just connected with that, because I was like, dang, because that just made me feel like, okay, if I'm not like constantly looking to get better, then I'll be like the same, stagnant, and just like being comfortable the whole time.
Right.
And it's like, that is not what I want, or I'm looking for.
Right.
So yeah, man, no, it just had me thinking about a bunch of things. So.
And I was just gonna connect with you talking about like growing and evolving and stuff, with y'all reaching the landmark of like the 100th episode in season 2 and season 3. What have you learned from doing the first 2 seasons that you feel like has changed what goals you might have had at the beginning that you have now?
It's a you question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because for me, I mean, I didn't know what to expect. The only thing I learned is you have to learn to fucking love your party members, because when you're sitting there for like 4 hours, they're like the first 2 episodes, me and Drew were like butting heads because he wanted to be more comical and I wanted to take something more serious. And like, I don't know what happened. I got really pissed off at him, and he knew it. But it was one of those things like, and then after a while, you just get used to it. Cause you're like, okay, fuck it, it's gonna go where it's gonna go. But that's me playing it. Like, it's just gonna happen. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want in this game. I think for him, it's different because you're the one who has conceptualized the story.
Yeah, because I sit with the story, and I sort of have a goal, and it is a shifting goal. Because the cool part is about the nature of our work is that it will have an end goal. I do have an end goal, but it shifts. It depends on them. When their goals and aspirations change, then my route there has to change. And I've had creator meetings with Jesus several times that just talk about the shifting goal.
You keep fucking with the story, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah. No, but see, that's also saying it wrong, because the players are the characters in your story, and they're the voices in your head. She's the voice in my head, and so I have to think about what she wants, what is her character goals, and how can I challenge her to be a better person in game, and eventually that'll change Paola as well. That like. Because your character, the person you're playing in the game, is not absent of the person who is playing them.
Sure.
So this is an aspect of Paola that exists in real life. Now she's not blue with horns, but this is a part of her personality that is changing and evolving, and I'm allowing her the opportunity to be challenged and grow. And so of course the story is evolving. I know where I want to go, but how I get there, sometimes that changes.
He's just admitting that I want to shank people. That's how my characters. If it's part of me, I just want to shank people.
And twist and pull.
Man, it honestly just reminded me of like just doing a play.
And it's really it.
I mean, literally.
It's just a play without a script, though. It's more improv.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the context. Here's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck you say and the spotting you do is on you. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna spot and go over here.
And then there's some dice, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll just use these to figure out where we're going next. Or
Yeah.
Whatever.
These say whether you succeed or fail.
It says whether you hit the mark or not. Like,
Yeah.
stage left. Nope, I tripped. I
Yeah.
tripped. I'm now stage down stage.
And now you as the actor have to accommodate for that.
Yeah.
Because you have failed at your ambition here in this moment. So what would you do after that?
Yeah, you didn't get what you want in the scene, dog.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about. I was like, what
Yeah.
happens if you don't get what you want?
See.
Like, how you can figure it
Keep
out? You know what I
going.
mean? You are a person, right? It's like, you're not, at the end of the day, yeah, there's a character on the page, but you are bringing yourself, the person,
I'm
to
an
the
illusion.
stage.
I don't know what you're
Oh.
talking
I
Be yourself, come be.
about. I'm just an illusion.
You got this.
Not really here, a projection of his ego.
Yeah.
Well,
His ego just happens to be a feminine ego.
it was nice for a minute to imagine. So I'm just like, it's all good, you know.
So I noticed you have like a lot of guests on like a lot of the episodes, and are all those guests friends through Dungeons and Dragons already, or did those come as a result of having the YouTube channel?
Through actually just the stuff we've done already. Like Ruben, he's from theater. He's one of our best friends from theater. Also a friend to Jose, standing behind the
Sick.
camera.
I love it. I keep hearing theater.
And
They're all theater
so
friends.
we actually have a theater group of Dungeons and Dragons players that we play with. They're our Pathfinder. I was trying to make it easy for them, but
Tabletop RPGs, more gamers.
and they're
More
our
gamers.
group, and they're our drinking and dragons group, and
Yeah, so we
Yeah,
pulled from
the
there.
theater people.
We pulled Ruben. Micah was a friend of Jose
Jose's.
from
the comic book.
the comic bug. He was doing gaming there, and so we pulled him in when our buddy actually got an acting gig. So the main reason, if you notice, why there's a transition isn't because we had any bad beef. No, he just happened to have to survive in
Right.
real life, and he ended up getting some acting gigs at Knott's, and right now I think at the Pirate Show.
Yeah, he's doing some. He's one of the main roles in the Pirates over in Anaheim.
Anaheim.
Getting that hard matey money. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Hey man.
Hardy har har.
Again, this doesn't pay us money, so it's all voluntary. He lives to
Yeah.
live. There's no shame in the game.
Yeah, and then I have some other players and people that are hitting me up that are personal friends of mine who are like, hey, let me get in the game. And they're gamers themselves, so they want in, and I played with them, so I trust them.
And then we've done one-offs, like when sometimes all our players can't be there the whole time, we'll do the one-offs. And so we have like Marissa, who's also a theater person, and whose dad was one of our tech guys here at the university, and so we threw her in, and so she played another rogue with me.
Yeah,
So we did the other characters, so
Yeah.
good amount of chunk of people.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everything's so connected. Like, not only just like your circle of peoples, but like, you know, your hobbies and your art. So
Right.
it's like dream come true. Just sounds like to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everything just so happened to fall in place for y'all.
Well, you have to build that.
Yeah.
You build what you desire, right? And you know, we wanted a a way to share our love with the community and to bring our friends on board too. So like if you think someone has a real talent, bring them on board. Don't be shy about it. Like, and give them the proper medium to do that talent well. So like Paola, like she's an artist and stuff like that, and so we featured some of her art like once or twice in the show. Like she's also a really good actress, and so like that's kind of displayed throughout the show. She's a doll. She's a doll.
I'm typecasted as a child.
Yeah. That has no. I don't want to say you're typecast as a child.
I have been typecasted as a child. Though.
That infers some stuff about my personality.
We don't do those roles. No.
Not like
That's Jose cringes behind the camera.
It's really cringeworthy. So you guys are gonna cut this out, right? No, it stays in the show. What is said on camera.
I really have been typecasted because I'm able to do this really creepy child voice that people liked when they were like, we need someone who's a child or a teen. We don't have anyone. I'm like, how you can do it? It's like, okay, sure.
I don't like it. Creeps me the hell out.
You need to hear the voice now, pal.
Oh my god, I don't know if I could do it. It was like,
it's in your upper register.
If I can, it was like I don't know what to do, and I like lost something, and I punched Sonia on accident, and then I don't know what to do, Miss Lopez. Like it was like something stupid like that.
She sounds like a goddamn 12-year-old.
You should close up on his face when you do the voice.
And I'm like,
it really was like this really like. Most of the time, if I was in theater, I liked being backstage. I liked the costumes. I liked building sets. I liked painting. But when I was on stage, I think when I did Durang with Amber, she was in one set of plays with her mentor, but then I did the second one for Durang. And I was the main character of Identity Crisis, and I had to say this whole spiel about Tinkerbell dying, and they loved my eyeballs, how big they got, and how creepy I looked, and I was like, cool. I almost died at that play too because there's a joke about banana bread, and the mom character literally stabs a banana into bread, and then they had a knife that they were gonna cut it with, and they left it on the table. And I knew it was there, and I had to step in the dark on the table, and I literally almost felt like I almost got stabbed. But theater, when you're like, you gotta keep going.
Show must go on.
Got the Wolverine on the soul. Just
I know, for real.
X-23.
Oh man, so I see a lot of. I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, but I do love Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So if you want to just like very however y'all
I'm not a
want
Marvel
to.
fan, but I watch all of them.
And Deadpool's right there. Dude.
There's a joke.
Yeah, we got
It's
DP.
an inside joke. One of the Deadpool cosplayers is also an artist, and I dressed up as Death the Endless, and he dressed up as Deadpool, and I joked around saying that one of the ships is because Deadpool in the comics likes death, but it's not the same death. But what would he do if he met the other death? And so he drew Death carrying Deadpool in the.
Well, I was just gonna ask, what are some of your favorites as far as like some of these posters and the drawings and stuff around here? You got a wide selection, so I'm just curious as someone who's wanting to know more.
You can start.
I'm a massive fan of like Iron Fist and Moon Knight and Daredevil, and like I have Iron Fist #1. I have Moon Knight #1. And I have select runs that I like of each of those characters, and I have reasons to like them too. I'm excited for a Moon Knight show that's going to blow your goddamn minds because you think Batman is badass.
Moon Knight's insane.
Okay, so Moon Knight, for the uninitiated, if you took Batman and then you took Fight Club and they had a baby, that's Moon Knight.
Yeah.
That's goddamn Moon Knight right there. And then add in some cool Egyptian lore in there.
Sick. There's nothing to me but blinding now, dog.
I know.
It's
I
so
know.
crazy. It's great.
Did you like what the show they had on Netflix? I don't know if you saw it. Did you like
Daredevil
that?
was great.
But did you like
Daredevil
Iron
was
Fist?
great.
Did you like Iron Fist?
Second season.
Second season. Second season actually was like on.
They hit the brand, you know what I'm saying?
They were going
Go
there.
in.
They were going there.
Yeah.
They were finally getting some of the tone of the stories. The Ed Brubaker run, Matt Fraction's run, and that's the run you want to emulate. And they were getting there, and they didn't. It was just right before they could.
Canceled.
Yeah, I know. I was like, because every time like there was when they started canceling some of these Marvel shows, I'd always hit him up and be like, dude, like, I really love that
Like,
that
bro,
season. Like, I don't.
the episode was so cool, bro. What are they doing, bro?
I mean, Iron Fist was one of them because I was like, yo, I
You
thought it
loved
was
the first
getting.
season too.
I loved both of them. I genuinely liked
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But Daredevil, I mean, we talk about Daredevil all the time.
Yeah.
I fully think Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio deserve to be in MCU. Like, even if
Killed
they
it.
can't,
Thank
they
you,
like
thank
just
you.
port them
Killed it.
over. Like,
Man.
timeline switch, you're gonna just.
And you know what? You bring Luke Cage in there, Michael Coulter. Bring him in there too. Bring him in there.
Too.
They just need to grab them and be like, that was an alternate universe. They're just gonna go.
Yeah.
Right in this one.
And they did it, and they have precedent for doing it because they've
That
just
little snap.
recently done it with J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, by the way, Spider-Man is not Tom Holland.
Man, I just watched Comics Explained talk about that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Have y'all seen that? That's like a.
I love Comics Explained. I
Oh,
literally, when I'm at
yeah.
work, I just let him.
Oh no way, bro! Me,
And he's
oh
like,
my
Let
god.
me tell you something.
Yeah, dude,
Let me tell you something. And then I'm like, tell me something about Galactus. Let
His voice.
let me
Yeah,
listen
dude.
to you.
It's so sultry.
Let me listen to you
I
right now.
I honestly, whenever when he first put me on to him, I think it was Infinity War. I forgot what movie where I was like,
let me tell you.
yeah. I was like, okay, I can't wait till he drops it, and I was like waiting for it, and he's like, oh my god, before we even get started, and like just his enthusiasm gets me even more pumped.
He's hyped.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
super hyped, and he's just like happy, and you can tell he loves to talk about it.
Right.
And so it actually fuels my love because I don't know a lot about the comics, but when I'm watching and like listening, I'm like, oh cool, it makes me like even more curious about it because it's so like big, right? It's like so much because I can't even like begin to speak about it because I just barely started watching the movies and the TV shows. There you go. Yeah.
Too much in it.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. But yeah, no. When you said Iron Fist, I just the first thing I thought was, man, I wish they never nicked it.
You know, I'm looking forward to the future. They do have Shang-Chi coming in, and if you like kung fu craziness, you're gonna get Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, and that's gonna bring in some of that fun martial arts stuff. I really hope they pull from like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and do some like cool kung fu stuff because they have that potential.
For sure.
And that's what the Netflix season 1 of Iron Fist should have gotten, and we didn't get that. We got it in season 2, and it was realized, but because of the cancellation, we never got to keep going with the story and to see the story of the Iron Fists.
Right.
Because there's more than one.
Right. Because then the his homie was like the villain in that season. There was like 2 of them, and then I was like, damn, this is crazy. I never know there could have been 2.
Damn,
and
I
then
was the one. You're the one. We're both the ones.
Yeah.
We're the ones.
Yeah. And then I was like, I just was confused as why they did it. But and then they brought out in Daredevil John Bernthal. We're huge fans of John Bernthal and Punisher, and I was like, I was just like so amped. And then they made a show for him.
Right.
And I was like, yo,
You can't
it's a
pass
wrap.
that
It's
second
a wrap.
season though. Really
Second season, it's hard.
We've talked.
tired.
It's
Same.
hard.
I think we
Same.
stopped on episode 6.
Yeah, and we can't finish
know.
Jessica Jones season 3.
No, they
that
went
one's hard
to.
too.
That's another one I was like, I couldn't really.
Nah, you weren't feeling Jessica Jones at all, dog.
First season I did.
Thank
First season
you.
I did.
First season
I watched the first
great.
season.
Bro, you watch it.
Just not the
Yeah,
second
bro.
one.
But I mean, Daredevil. Every time I say something about Jessica Jones,
I was
I'm
just
like,
really
yeah, but
hot.
Daredevil.
David Tennant made that season though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tennant's
Yeah.
amazing.
He's tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like.
Well,
anything David
and you know, and Netflix is sour because Disney Plus,
Mhm.
and that's the reason why they're backing out. So we're going to get a little bit of a cool down with the Defenders characters. So we're not going to see them in movies for another 2 years or so after the contract cools down. And hopefully we will see some Disney Plus stuff. Hopefully we'll see some stuff when they start introducing some X-Men, because those are all opportunities for them to bring them back into the MCU. These are all potential.
Right.
You don't have an awesome character like Daredevil, who is a song for the oppressed, the people who are marginalized in society, the blind population, disabled populations, and you don't put him in the MCU. You don't do that. You have to, because the whole thing about the Marvel universe is to be a voice of the people. A reflection of society if society had superpowers. Whereas in the DC universe, it's what if gods were people and they were a reflection of what is right and the best version of humanity, right? And they were
Not the worst.
or the worst, because gods, if you use the Grecian or the Romantic version of gods, because that's what they're based on, they are the apex of themselves. So they're the absolute worst version of themselves, the best version of themselves at all times.
Yeah, that sounds like perfect. People think perfect has like this positive connotation to it, but that actually sounds like the definition of perfect we're talking about. Like people can't attain. It's like pure extreme on both or all ends.
Yeah, because we associate perfection with the idea that of like the best of good, but we use the term apex when hate has reached its apex. Now that we get mass shootings, and I'm sorry, I went political.
We're gonna take you to a dark place.
My bad. No, but we live in a charged society right now, and I think this is the time that artists really need to put on their overalls, start working. Because art, get out there and work, because this is how we're going to get through this. Is we have to show the younger generation to that if they invest in their art and invest in themselves, they're going to be better people. Invest in mental health, invest in their physical health, and do good work. When you do good work, then good things will come of it. Even if you only have 185 subscribers, even if you only have 4 episodes, if you like your work, if you like what you're doing, if you're saying something that's in your heart and your soul, you're going to speak to somebody. And let that just fuel you moving forward. I'm sorry!
You had me the whole time. I was like,
I'm melodramatic!
Hey, no, it's perfect, man.
Actor by training! It's in me!
No, I love it, man.
And
I love it.
I think that's like a great place to leave off. I want to thank y'all again. Is there anything you want to let the people know about? Any ideas for season 3? Anything to look out for? Anything that's upcoming?
One of the things I'm very excited about is Jordan is
Doing her
going.
one-shot.
She has one shot, which will be about 4 episodes, 3 to 4 episodes.
Hey,
And
She's gonna run the DM.
Yeah, she's
Run the
gonna DM for her first time, and she is going to play for you guys, and she's going to play for us. I'm going to be playing a character, and you're going to be playing a character. We have no idea what we're going to be doing, but we're going to be filming that very, very soon, and we're excited to show it for you guys. You might see it in a month or 2. It might be on the YouTubes right now.
Ooh.
no, wow.
I don't know.
Damn.
Oh.
Who knows?
Hit him with a Beyonce drop.
Yeah.
Just
Alright,
bam.
already. It's out.
Bam.
You know what I'm
If you
saying?
like it, then you should have put a ring on it. And hit the subscribe bell on their show right now.
And yours.
And my show too,
Yeah,
Vicious
yeah,
Mockery, on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
no.
thank y'all.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much
this
for
really is dope.
inviting me to your home where
Yes,
we
much
just geeked out.
Yeah.
Thank you for
an hour straight. We were just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, keep talking because I'm looking
Yeah.
at this amazing stuff.
If you guys want to come and talk about other things like how Mobile Suit Gundam is a war allegory, that's an anti-war message, while using
Wars stole Gundam.
and Star Wars stole from Gundam,
Oh.
and got rid of the anti-war message, which doesn't make any sense.
Well, I fuck with Gundam, so that's
Oh,
that's
you
a
do?
yes,
Yeah, probably
yeah,
Gundam
yeah,
Wing, right?
Yeah, I kind of told you
Called
about
it.
a little bit because I'm huge
You
on Dragon
wingers.
Ball Z, and
You
they would show the
You
scene the
wingers.
shows with each other, so I just sit and watch. I'm like, oh my god.
I watched
And-
Gundam G, so Mark hates me for it. 'Cause, like, that was my first Gundam. I loved Gundam G.
What's wrong with
It was
Mobile Suit?
terrible, but I don't care.
But if you ever want to talk anime and like
Mhm.
the,
Oh, most
you want to
definitely.
talk about anything,
Yeah.
there is a plethora of information in here,
Ooh.
and I steal from it at night. Like she doesn't know. I got like a tube
You gotta
that I.
siphon
I do
the
know
game.
a lot of weird random stuff that he would never have known.
She X-Men. If you want to talk X-Men,
alright.
Not
first,
modern.
Not the last movie. Not the last. Two
No,
movies,
we
not the
were
last.
we almost refused to
Alright.
watch those movies.
He was like, ugh, I break out. Ugh, turn it off.
Dark Feet who? I am not watching that.
I like Dark Phoenix too. I have a $400 statuette of her.
Yeah,
Well,
we.
But no,
have
I
a
didn't pay
collection.
$400.
Oh,
No.
I'd be a-
She
no.
increased in beautiful value.
No, I bought her for $40
And she came up on
at Frankenstein's
You put a zero on that.
millennia ago.
Awesome.
And that's our cue.
No, yeah, well, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, guys.
Really appreciate y'all. Enjoy the talking. And again, this is the Anthony and the Amandla show with a
Conversation never ends. Player.
and we just want to encourage everybody to breathe and feel big.
Thank y'all. Peace. Love you, mommy, daddy. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
That was
you.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
I want to go home and